Emo poetry is something that can be defined as emotional, provocative poetry. Emo poetry often talks about something that is difficult to discuss with most people. Some of these themes include suicidal thoughts, painful experiences, anger, inspiration events, or anything other kind of emotion. This doesn't mean that all emo poetry is suicidal, and it doesn't mean that all emo kids are suicidal. It just means other emotion that can be expressed through poetry.
What is an emo? That is a question. Not what my opinion of an emo is, but what is an emo? People are stereotypical of emos, but how can you define an emo over, say, a scene kid or a gothic child? What is the difference between them, apart from trench coats and brightly coloured hair? When I think of an emo, it tends to be people that are like really depressed and sort of in themselves, but self-harming is normally what people think about emos as well. Because the way that all their life's on top of them and they're all depressive, they have to find some outlet for it because they don't feel they can speak to anyone, or they choose not to speak to anyone because they don't like people knowing their problems, so they self-harm to have an outlet. And then that leads to further depression and emoism, and they just become more emo. So that's what I think an emo is. A self-harming, depressive sort of child, basically. Self-harming.
I've never felt I've been valued by anyone. I'm just a waste of space, but everyone ignores me like a toaster at home.
Think of somebody, dark makeup, dark hair, dark clothes, long leather coats,
Long hair,
depressed.
very depressed.
That is my interpretation of an emo. Having said that,
Well, I was in my favour.
yeah, they always feel like they've been wronged. You know, they've done something and people owe them something.
People can't class them as second-class citizens.
A chip on their shoulder, basically. But
But then again,
that is what we think. But having said that,
we are a majority of people, or they are anyway.
I just think that this is the image they give. Whether that's how they are or not is a different matter. Tasha, obviously, emo to an extent, and she does have some of them traits that we just said. You know, she does get depressed. She does wear the dark makeup at times. Goes through phases of the hair and colours and that. They just seem to be not happy with themselves as people. Really, and that's what I think. That basically they've got a lot of issues going on that they can't express to other people. So basically they hide behind the makeup.
It's a mask.
Yeah, it is. It's an act. It's like a front, basically. It's like, oh, you know, this is happening to me, so I'm going to be emo. I can hide behind this. I don't have to tell people how I feel.
Until it's too late.
And then they go and do stupid things because that's what's expected. You know, people think of emos as being like, you know, slashing their wrist, this type of thing. It's a cry. It is a cry for attention to an extent, really, isn't it?
Yes.
And realistically, they wouldn't have to be emo to do that, but people hide behind being an emo because that's what people think,
Yeah,
isn't it?
I agree with everything you said.
It's quite ironic that in life, the person that brings out the best in you and the one that makes you strong is actually your weakness.
That they're just judging someone because of how they look and not how they actually are, like their feelings and their actual opinions and their personality. They're just judging someone because they're different to them, and they can't accept that someone wants to be different and not fit in with the crowd like everybody else does. They're judging them because they shouldn't treat others differently because of how they are. They should treat someone with the same respect they would a true one themselves to be treated. Emos have the same life as anybody else does, so you should just treat them how you want to be treated and not act as if they're just misfits, that they're somebody that actually belongs in society as well.
Not all scars show, not all wounds heal. Sometimes you can't always see the pain someone feels.